So I thought it'd be fun to do a series recap on what we just witnessed last night. If you did not know what happened last night, the Boston Bruins, Boston Bruins, the Columbus Blue Jackets officially swept the Tampa Bay Lightning and are moving on to the second round. So I thought we'd do a series recap. How we do this, we take the two teams, we look at the games that happened, top five points in forwards, top 2 points in defensemen of the series, the goaltending, the power play, penalty kill, goals for, goals against, and potential second next round opponents. So let's start. We're all Tampa, and it's just a cluster of what just happened. And what's even wow about this, they really can't do anything. You already got the roster. You just locked up John Cooper for a long time. So you can't do much. I just have to see what they do, if they do anything. So let's get right. So let's start with Tampa Bay top five. The top player on forwards was Kucherov, 4 assists, 4 points. He didn't have a goal. I thought that's pretty interesting. The top point getter this year did not have a single goal in the 4 games. Stamkos, he had 2 goals, 2 assists, 4 points. Sorelli had a goal, 2 assists, 3 points. He stepped up for Tampa. Miller, 2 assists, 2 points. Point, a goal and an assist, 2 points. That's your top 5 for Tampa. The best offensive team in the league, the best offensive team in years, does that. Defenseman Chernak, 3 assists, 3 points. Rutta, 3 assists, 3 points. That's what Tampa's offense did. Columbus, here's what they did. Duchesne, 3 goals, 4 assists, 7 points. Way to step up in the first round with your new team. After last night, I know they still have Duchesne, Dzingel, Panarin, and Bobrovsky to resign. I'm thinking at this point for them, I think they got 2. I think Dzingel is already going to resign. I don't think he was going to leave. I think Duchesne stays. Because he's finally on a good team. I'm not saying Colorado wasn't, but we know what happened when before he left. When the year he left, they weren't really, no. The year before he left, they weren't good at all. Ottawa didn't pan out. So, he's finally on a playoff team that beats the best team in the league. It's all to the second round. I think he's like, okay, I'm on a good team. Why would I leave? Why would I leave this team if we're good? I think he might stay. I think it's now on Bobrovsky and Panarin. I think you have to have another good round for one of them at least to stay. If I look at it, I think Bobrovsky is more the player, in my opinion, to stay. I think Panarin would be the guy to go, in my opinion, but. Panarin had 2 goals, 3 assists, 5 points. Bjorkstrand had 2 goals, 2 assists, 4 points. Atkinson, 2 goals, 2 assists, 4 points. And Dubois, a goal and 2 assists. I think Texier had 2 goals and assists, so he's up there as well, 3 points. There's your top 5 for Columbus. And you look compared to Tampa, unbelievable. Defense, Werenski, a goal, 4 assists, 5 points. Seth Jones, 2 goals, 2 assists, 4 points. Tampa, they didn't have Stroman and they didn't have Hedman for 3. It's tough, but still. You have to have it. For 2. Goaltending, this is where it really tips in Columbus. Vasilevsky, 89 for 104. That might have changed. I'm not exactly sure. I think it might have. Point is, 856 save percentage and a 382 goals against average. That's not Vasilevsky's numbers. I don't think he was injured, but that's just straight out not him at all. So I'm really curious if maybe they do release out that maybe he was injured. I don't think he was, but I could be wrong. But that just wasn't Vasilevsky. Just what the heck. Bobrovsky on the other hand, this was not Bobrovsky. 109 for 117, a 932, and a 201 goals against. That's not Bobrovsky. at all. I'm not complaining. He played really good against this top Tampa Bay team. What I'm just saying is Columbus fans would know this, and everyone else who watches knows that Bobrovsky struggles in the postseason. If you looked at these numbers, you'd probably switch them, to be honest. You'd probably say, okay, Vasilevsky's numbers is more like Bobrovsky, and it's Vasilevsky the other way around, right? It's not. Bobrovsky really stood on his head, and after that first period in Game 1, he just stood tall. After allowing 3 in the first period, think of this, out of 3 of the first period, the next 11 periods, he would only allow 5. He allowed 5 goals in the last 11 periods, where he only after he allowed 3 goals in the first period of Game 1. Think of that. So, unbelievable. Bobrovsky, he stepped up. He needed to step up to prove the haters wrong. Like I said, I think this proves to them that they stay. At the same time, it proves that they might be worth more on the market to leave. Right? So that kind of hurts. Maybe Columbus's way. Special teams and goals against. Tampa Bay scored 8 goals this series. 8 goals. 9th. To bring you up to speed, you see on the bottom of the board, Toronto has 8 goals and they played 3 games. And they played a tougher Boston defense, in my opinion. 9th of the possible 16. Now, I know it's kind of not fair because all teams didn't all play 4 games yet. But it's still. Columbus, 19. First. They're first in goals for. In just 4 games, they scored 19 against the best team in the league, which is bizarre. Tampa allowed 19, which is first, which is bad. You don't want to be first in that category. You want to be lower. Columbus, 12th. They only allowed 10. Okay. Power play. This is also, what the heck? Tampa Bay's power play, 16.7%, 10th in the standings. Penalty kill of 50%, dead last. Columbus's power play, 50%. Columbus's power play was 50% in this series. I think they had 5 goals. It said something, they had 4 goals per game. They either had 5 or 4. Right. So I think they either went 4 for 8 or 5 for 10. Point is, 50% on their power play. So their power play is getting it done. Tampa's penalty kill wasn't getting it done. First playoff series win for Columbus, and we'll recap it. Game 1, 4-3 Columbus. Game 2, 5-1 Columbus. Game 3, 3-1 Columbus. And Game 4, 7-3 Columbus. Game 1, Columbus come back, 4 straight goals, unbelievable. But a lot of people probably say, especially Tampa fans, well, 7-3 is not a good score because they kind of ran up the score. Well, I wouldn't say they ran it up, but 3 empty netters. So if you want to take that away, it would be 4-3, but still. Columbus, they beat Tampa, they're up 4-0, and they have to wait for Boston and Toronto. It's Boston's up down 2-1. They play tonight in Toronto again for Game 4. It's gonna be interesting. I think that'll be interesting. But the question will be, who would Columbus want next? Who do you think they want next? I got some stats. Boston, they have scored 7 goals so far and 13th in the league. Toronto has scored 8 goals, 10th in the league. Boston has allowed 8, 9th in the league. Toronto has allowed 7, 13th in the league. Power play, Boston is 33.3% on the power play, 2nd in the league. Toronto is 28.6 for 4th in the league. It's tough to say. Boston, both offenses are pretty darn close, so I wouldn't go with that. Goaltending, I kind of would give it to Toronto. I like Freddie Anderson more than I pick Rask. But I do like Boston's defense more. And I go with that to do. Boston's defense is good, but slower, and a little bit older, while Toronto is faster, but younger. So Columbus definitely would take advantage of Boston's defense if they played Boston, but they could still take it or Toronto. And I think there's another key thing. So with that, I would kind of maybe want to play Toronto. The young, inexperienced defense, I'd rather play that. But then you look at this. Toronto, they can win this series in 5 or 6 or 7. They can win it after tonight. Any game, unless they lose tonight. If they lose tonight, then this definitely just resets. But if they win tonight, it's different. If they win, they can win this in 5. They can have just almost as much rest as Columbus, and they're both healthy and rested up for game 1 of the second round. Or for Boston, it's in 6 or in 7. And when you think about that, that's I wouldn't want that 6 or 7. I wouldn't want that. I would want that. Sorry, for Columbus, because they're like I said, they're older and slower as well. I mean, there's still some young good players, but they're still a little bit older and still a bit slower. 6 or 7, that would wear you down, especially if it's in 7. That wears the team down. And while Columbus is sitting back, rested up, I think Game 7, if my math's correct, it would either be Game 5, I think it's Friday. I think it'd be sometime Tuesday next week. Tuesday or Wednesday or next week. In a week from now. So Columbus would potentially have a week and a couple days off if Boston wins it in 7. Now, if Toronto wins tonight, Boston can do what Toronto did last year. So it could happen like that. But if Toronto wins tonight, Toronto could win Game 5, be almost as rested as Columbus when they play. Or if it's because right now Boston, it's either Game 6 or Game 7 if they win the series. Well, Toronto, it could still happen for them in Game 6 or Game 7, but my point is, I think, in my opinion, I would kind of rather play Boston. I would rather play Boston if I'm Columbus. But let me know what you guys thought of this series. I thought it was actually a pretty good series, in my opinion. A shocking, really fast-paced series. Let me know what you thought of the series. Let me know who would you, if you are Columbus fans, if you are a Columbus fan, or if you are like a Columbus player, who would you want to play in the second round? Who would you want, Boston or Toronto? Let me know what you guys think.